A letter from a soldier. Rennes, 14th June 1915. Dear Emma, we are on the retreat. Our position is untenable. Don't worry, I'm still in good health. We are going to leave Rennes to the enemy. Rennes is a beautiful city. I hope all is well at home and you are taking good care of our parents. I hope the prisoners are working properly for you. See you soon, Siegfried. Darts. These darts were dropped onto trenches from zeppelins or aircraft. Due to the velocity on impact, their heavy tips were capable of piercing through anything between them and the ground, including helmets and soldier skulls.
Voilà. Chut. Courage, Nebo. Pas mieux. Voilà ça. Allez. Allez, courage. Chut. Courage, Nebo. Pas mieux. Voilà ça. Allez.
Oh my god.
Carl! Papa!
Trop vite. Il est avec le général. Grave.
Ok, Carl. Carl, tiens bon. Va! Va! Va!
Whoa, get away, boy. Hey, whoa. Go now. Whoa. Go, get out. What? Allez. Oui, boss. What? Psst. Hey, hey. What? Chut, vas-y. Allez. Psst. What? Yeah. Whoa, get away. Hey, whoa. 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 Shoot, whoa. Oui. What? Ah. What? Oh. Merci, mon ami. C'est bien, c'est bien. We are sealed. Right.
Life and death of a Zeppelin. The Zeppelin was effective at the start of the war, and in 1915 London suffered over 50 Zeppelin raids before the Royal Air Service intervened. The craft's weak spot was obviously the hydrogen-filled balloon. Hydrogen is a lighter-than-air gas, but is very flammable. So, hence it was hydrogen is lighter than air, hence its value to aviation. However, it is also highly flammable, and the slightest spark sent the craft plummeting spectacularly groundward in a fireball, in a ball of flames. Of the 92 craft used during the war, 68 of them were destroyed. Facial disfigurement. By 1918, there were 20 million war wounded. All countries, including roughly 70% of the injuries, came from shrapnel, and only 1% from bayonets. Facial injuries could result in having a jaw, nose, eye removed, but progress in surgeries has saved and patched up many victims of facial disfigurement and amputation, of which were 200,000 post-war. 20 million. That is, for every 2 people in my country, Canada, they would have a facial disfigurement. There's only 33 million people here. So, that's a huge number. You have to really put that in perspective by, there's a household of 4 people in my home. That would be the equivalent of 3 people being horribly disfigured.
Ça va aller, allez. Émile? Non!
Victory had a bittersweet taste for Anna. Carl, seriously wounded, had been sent to a POW camp. Anna's father had disappeared with Baron von Dorf, and Emil was court-martialed for desertion. Cited for his bravery in Reims, Emil was fortunately pardoned and set free to go back to the front. February 21st, 1916. Winter had descended on the front. After joining back up with the army, Emile and Freddie were stationed near Verdun, suffering like many others from the harsh winter. That morning, the arrival of the mail raised spirits, but Marie's letter did not bring good news. In Saint-Mihiel, food was scarce, disease was rife, and the number of dead was growing. Out of this grim news, however, there was one ray of light. A photo of his grandson, Victor, standing on both feet and learning to walk.
Don't worry, Fred.
February 21st. June 15th, 1915. How much luck can a guy have? There's this huge cathedral here. It makes me think of you. They sent me back to the army. It's not going to make my search any easier. June 15th, 1915. I was so frightened when I saw the Zeppelin crash today. Fortunately, Father wasn't on board, because the Baron had already taken him away by aircraft. I managed to save Emile's son-in-law before they sent him to a POW camp. His legs were in a critical state. I'll be going with him to make sure he's alright. June 21st, 1915. As he grows, Victor reminds me more and more of Carl. Not a day goes by without me thinking of him. The Germans are requisitioning all our corps. There must be all our crops. Sorry, corn crops are spelled this way. The food shortages in Germany. I managed to hide some food for next winter. I can't wait for this stupid war to end. Feeding soldiers at the front. Supplying millions of men at the front with enough food was a logistical nightmare. The diet was mainly composed of bread, rice, soup, and sometimes meat and dried vegetables. Food parcels from home were an ambrosia for the troops. British soldiers had a ration of a pint of wine and a third of a pint of rum every day. One of soldiers' fatigue duties was to go behind the lines with containers to fetch the company's rations. Sometimes food did not reach the front line, and infantrymen could go without food and drink for several days. 18 months later, in over 18 months of combat, the front barely moved, as each side dug in and tried to call back enemy's position. The war of attrition turned in 1915 into the bloodiest year, and civilians became hugely affected too. By late 1915, shortfalls in human and in food resources began making themselves felt in human. While ammunition shortages were especially problematic. This was truly a war of attrition, where a gain in feet were considered a good day. People do not understand how much back and forth that this war went. For hundreds of yards, thousands of men would die. It wasn't until something came along to break that stalemate. And the thing that came along to break that stalemate was the tank. Now, a lot of people ask or don't understand, they wonder why a tank is named a tank. What the hell does tank mean? Most think is it a fish tank. No, it's not that type of tank. Could be that type of tank. Tank was actually its code name. They used the name Tank because there were so many spies that had infiltrated the British, and there were spies everywhere. Both sides had spies, okay? So when they had a secret weapon, they would give it an alternate name. So this was Tank, as in gas tank, for airplanes. And that was the goal, the secret name. It was supposed to be for a drop-away tank or some bullshit. It was just a gas tank for an airplane. And that was its code name, and after it had stuck. The sad thing, though, is tanks derived from... The first thing they took up was tractors, farming equipment. They converted that kind of thing into tanks. So when they first made, they were these huge bullet magnet type vehicles. You could literally walk faster than a tank. It had 1 or 2 miles per hour, whatnot. It is, very, very slow. And inside of that tank, since the engine was also inside of there, the heat was just nuts. I mean, the heat got very, very hot inside of a tank. A lot of soldiers were affected from this heat, They would go out on patrol or they would go out on a mission, and if they survived, they ended up losing, so much water that they would lose weight. Tanks is what really brought the war to an end. They were big enough, strong enough to make it across the fields of no man's land and break through and make a hole into the lines of the Germans to cause enough panic and problems that the attention was put onto the tanks and would allow soldiers to come across no man's land. Barbed wire. Invented in 1874, barbed wire was already a common feature of trench protection in battle. But the Great Wars on trench warfare, it became widespread. Thousands of tons were deposited in no man's land. Both sides sought tools and strategies to overcome barbed wire, such as grappling irons and wire cutters. Intensive bombardments was deemed to be most effective method, and the attacks became widespread. Dead soldiers petrifying on barbed wire remains one of the enduring images of the war, a powerful symbol of its violence. Barbed wire was one of the worst ways you could die, I think. You could get caught in it, and that was it. You're fucked. People think that it was just one or two roads. These were fields of barbed wire. In the picture there, you can see those little stakes. All those stakes sticking out of the ground. There's barbed wire, and it's not just lines of wire. These things would crisscross and diagonal and all sorts of things. You could get caught in this. Now, barbed wire is advanced nowadays. Now they have what's called is razor wire. And basically, it's you take a razor blade and you weld it to this friggin' wire. Now you see this man, he's laying out razor wire. He's obviously, they have some sort of railing system, which is great. It would take them hours to lay out these wires. Nowadays, they can lay razor wire within the matter of seconds. Tons of it. I mean, they have specialized vehicles that you could drive down and lay out a ton of wire so quick you'd be shocked. And they have it so that they can, you can have one row of it, and then they have it so that they developed it so that you can stack it, right? You can build up these posts so that you build almost this fence of this razor wire. Verdun, triggered by the Germans at dawn, February 21st, in the aim of penetrating Allied lines. The battle eventually lasted 300 days. Some key positions changed hands several times before the French finally prevailed. The battle produced the highest concentration of casualties, with 600,000 killed over a 61 square mile. Example, 1 death for every 300 squared yards. Talk about your war of attrition. Military decorations. Britain had 6 war medals, the most issued of which were the British War Medal, the Victoria Medal, the 1914 to 1915 Star, and the 1914 Star. 6.6 million British war medals were issued. 5.7 million victory medals. 2 million 1914 to 1915 stars, and 365,000 1914 stars. A combination of the stars, the Victory Medal and the War Medal, was fairly commonplace. Over 2.5 million trios were issued, and earned the nickname Pip, Squeak, and Wilfred, after the popular cartoon characters in the Daily Mirror. A dog, a penguin, and a rabbit, respectively. One thing is for sure, many people don't know, even celebrities. Russell Crowe is one of them. If someone in your family has earned one of these medals, doesn't matter which war, never ever wear that medal in honor of your family. I don't care what your good intentions are. Never wear a medal that you haven't earned. It's a huge disrespect to wear something that you did not earn. These were meant for people that were there, been there, and done that. Russell Crowe wore a World War medal. I can't remember if it was World War II or World War I. It was his grandfather's medal. And he wore it to some event. And I had to say, it was disgusting. I don't care how he spins it, if it was good intentions, if it was, remembering his honor or whatnot. If his grandfather was alive, he would have told him he would have told him not to wear the fucking medal. He would have told him that it was a huge disgrace. So, put it out there. If you ever see somebody pick up a medal and want to put it on, tell them not to. In fact, stop them.
Pas de brignol pour toi, le bigonneau. Pas de boule, pas pour toi.
Merci, Walt.
Pourquoi, voilà? Pas de goudriole pour l'autre. Non, je vois, pas de béton.
Hey, Walt.
Yeah, but how do I get in the goddamn trenches?
Pas de goudriole pour l'autre.
Hey, sur de l'œil. T'es malin? Walt.
T'as mordi.
All I was like to do is find a
Oh là là. Ho, ho.
good
My
trade.
dearest daughter, I heard from Carl. His condition is stable. He is still in the prisoner camp south of Reims. I hope to finally get permission to visit him. Thank you for the photo. It means so much to me.
Oops. I didn't even know I was playing. I thought it was still the cutscene. Oh my god! Letters from Tunisian Soldier, 21st February 1916. Dear Father, dear family, I'm cold. The land we are defending is frozen and covered in snow. The ground is so iced up, it is harder than rock. We cannot dig. The cold is so intense that my hands are burning. I hope everything's fine back in the village and you still receiving half my pay. Tell me if you aren't, Amid.
Archie!
I like things that go boom. Motherfucker. Just so that you guys know, he's firing a maximum machine gun. It's called after the man that actually invented it. What you see here is you have your trench, there's the open area, and then down below you see how it's underneath the ground, whatnot. It could be the trench, whatnot. It could be also where a mortar has hit or an artillery shell has hit. When mortars and artillery shells hit, they do pretty, huge extensive damages, and especially the ones that were, especially the early ones, they really, when they hit, they shook the earth like it was gonna fucking fall apart. They would make such a hole in the ground that it created cover, and that cover's name is called a defilade. And it was a collecting point actually for when you were trying to cross no man's lands. There was tons of defilades. In fact, some of the defilades were so huge that they had collected all this water, enough water that you could drown many men in. So I just thought it was cool because it doesn't get used a whole lot anymore. The terminology is being lost. I thought it was something cool to share. Something I know. I don't know a whole lot, but I did know that. So does that count for something? Okay, here we go. And there we go. We got another defilade. Cover or a hole made by an explosion. And run. Look at that, I'm playing basketball. Shit. I'm rushing, not Russian. That's another interesting fact. Basketball was invented by a Canadian. Go figure. We only have like one or two sports. I don't even think we have Vancouver anymore. I think it's just Toronto that has an NBA team. So yeah, it's a Canadian sport, along with lacrosse. That's also a Canadian sport. Well, it's our national sport. Many people think that hockey is, but actually lacrosse is. And it was something that was invented off of a game, off of a Native American. They had this type of game, and English took that and they made a game off of it. Actual Canadian actually made it off of it. So, son of a bitch. More talking, or less talking, more playing. Oh my god, are you serious? I'm not very good at basketball. I'm a short, fat, white guy. Not that race has anything to do with it. Just, off of the movie White Men Can't Jump. Well, I'm not white man and I can't jump. Let's go. We're in business! letter from Tunisia signify a color pendant. You know what? I'm gonna read that after. Just because it's all that war stuff. I'm coming, buddy. Let's look at that. Color pennant. Although Morse code was already operational due to technical problems, telephone communications were unreliable, so age-old techniques were used, such as drums, bugles, colored pendants. November 11th, 1918, at 11 a.m., the end of the war was marked by a clarion call. And for you, those November 11th is Remembrance Day. It is when the war ended, and it was a long war. A lot of men died. I know also things for drums, bugles, whistles. Another one that they had was soccer balls. They would coordinate attacks from the trenches using a soccer ball or whistles, or sometimes you'd see them. They would have a soldier go and he would kick the ball out into the air, and that would be the signal for, okay, let's, all the commanders would give their companies the charge command. So. Didn't know that. Ooh, the cotton! Need to find that fucking key. And we probably need a shell.
What? What?
Business. Into the breach. There we go. East of the windmill. Now there's the windmill. East of the windmill where the group of trees are. Those look like trees. There's the fucking windmill, no? What am I doing wrong here? Well, I see the trees. So I understand that, you motherfuckers. But now I should have hit it by luck, for Christ's sakes. Yeah, windmill. Three trees.
precision cannon firing enabled Freddy and his regiment
Fuck
to
me.
reach the rear line unharmed.
Bravo, Freddy! Bill, thank you very much.
The military hierarchy heard of their feats in battle and decided to decorate the two friends for their bravery. Emil received good news from Anna. Carl was recovering nicely. He was even walking again. Meanwhile, the battle for Verdun only grew longer and bloodier. The death toll was staggering, 70,000 per month. Almost one Frenchman and one German every minute, and it went on for 10 months, day and night.
My God.
May 8th, 1916, Emil's squad was sent on a mission to take back Fort Douaumont, a strategic point in the German defense.
Okay, sorry. Oops. Didn't really see the objective. I was away from the TV, so let's see. Alright, so death, 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 not death.
What? Hey, what? What? Hey, what? 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 Hey, what? What?
Motherfucker.
What? What? Keine Fuß!
Facts. Fort Dumont. Fort Dumont was one of the symbols of the Battle of Verdun and was exploited by both camps for propaganda purposes. The Germans seized the front in February 1916 before it was seized back by the Allies in October 1916 with heavy losses. In the meantime, the fort was damaged by a huge explosion which killed almost 800 Germans inside. Rather than work of the valiant heart, Sorry, I just started learning reading like a week ago. The explosion was caused by a neglected stove. The ensuing fire spread to the petroleum and ammunition supply. Damn. 800 men died because of someone not being safe. Flamethrowers. The Germans were the first to use flamethrowers in an assault on a previously held position in July 1915. Although the attack was expected to use the weapon came as a surprise and caused a large number of casualties. Its psychological impact was huge. The British troops soon learned to cope with the slow-moving operatives lugging heavy equipment and did not adopt the weapon themselves. Reason being, flamethrowers became very became very widespread for clearing trenches in World War II. Later on, it was mainly used in, Japan used it, or the Americans used it fighting Japan, because of all the caves and tunnel systems that they had created. It was also used in Vietnam. It was a widespread tool because it is good for clearing out tight positions. They even adapted flamethrowers to their tanks during Vietnam, and I believe the Korean War as well. Mostly in Vietnam, you'd have these huge tanks, and these things would just spray at hundreds and hundreds of feet, because it had the power of the engine to help propel the fluid out of the nozzle kind of thing. So it was, instead of just being pressurized, it was, motorized. So, very, very deadly. And it's not just gasoline or anything like that. What they use is a type of, it's basically like gasoline mixed with some, gelatin, whatnot, okay, or glycerin. Because it makes it more thick, and that allows you to propel it further because it has some weight to it instead of just spraying liquid. So not only do you get the advantage of it going out further and that you get it will coat and stick whatever it's hitting, and that causes it to burn even longer, even after you have stopped spraying. So.
moving. Isdan. Hallo. Who's moving? Emil, hurry up!
Working on it.
Vas-y.
Empty wooden chest. An empty wooden chest used as luggage by German soldiers' suitcase were not widespread, and poorer soldiers left for the war with their affairs in knapsacks or wooden crates.
What? What? Allez.
Good luck.
Damn, my breath. Oh, go now. Yeah, boy. Good boy.
German ring. An iron ring bearing the inscription Gold Garb Ich für Essen, offered in exchange for some precious item as part of a program to finance the German war effort.
Get away from her.
Shite!
Get away. Hey, whoa. Shoot.
Fuck, I did it again.
Whoa. Go now.
Vorwärts, Sauhaufen! Kein Pardon! Los, 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 los!
I have to say, I love the artwork. I mean, it's just bloody brilliant.
Kavime! Nach der Wurzeln! Neben den Wurzeln! Schwung ab,
Get away. Whoa, go. Get out.
Psst.
Bastalo, roule!
Hey, like Berlin. Run out.
Come! Go! Finissela! Help me! Top bunch! Black Panther! Help me, Emil!
I'm coming. I'm coming, little buddy. I'm coming. Gas stove. A gas stove for warming food and heating a room. Not always the most practical heating appliance to use when trying to heat a flamethrower fuel depot. Ah, bloody hell.
Despite the fort's partial destruction, the Germans held their position. The mission was a failure.
You're watching the Fat Man Go Boom channel. Please follow, follow, follow. I start my broadcast between the hours of 9 p.m. and 11 p.m. I'm on until the wee hours. Tonight I'm actually getting off early. I'm going to be ending it here. This is chapter 3. We'll be continuing this tomorrow night. Please join me. Like I said, I usually play 2 or 3 games a night. I usually go between, when I start, from between 9 and 11 till 3, 4, sometimes 6 in the morning, playing 2 or 3 games. Look, join me. There's links to my YouTube site that has all my videos. I'm only new at this. I only have about 10 days underneath my belt. I do plan on improving things like quality of the sound, quality of the stream. I would like to get it up to 720p. My internet right now will not allow that. A camera, I'd like to get my hands on a camera as well. Listen, I have to thank you. Join me again. Please, please, please. Follow, follow, follow. Okay. Have a good one, guys. Play this game. Buy this game. It's worth having a go through it. If not, I'm sure in time it's going to be next to nothing. A year or 2 from now, it'll be $5 or $10. A must buy. Please, pick it up. Support these kind of art games. They're great. Child of Light, another one that uses the UbiArt framework. Excellent, excellent, excellent game. I can't talk enough about that game. It is like a freaking storybook. One that you would like reading. Another one, a good one is Rayman Legends. I cannot believe how fun that game is. I don't have it for the PS4. I have it for the Wii U, and it is extremely fun. The gameplay in it is great. The music in it is just awesome. So, just games like this are just fantastic, and they should be played. Good night. It's the Fat Man Go Boom channel, and I'll see you all in the morning.